Hello everyone, happy Easter to all those who celebrated this Sunday, Christ is risen. Today we're breaking fast and I'm gonna be doing cheesy meatballs with spaghetti and pasta sauce. So let's get started. It's delicious and it is what we all need after a long time not having meat or cheese or any dairy. Let's get going. So what I have here is 1 pound of beef. I chose to have it extra lean because in this recipe I'm going to be adding a couple of eggs and some cheddar cheese, half a cup of grated packed cheddar cheese, which is going to add a lot of richness into the meatball. So we start with 1 pound extra lean beef, ground beef. I'm gonna crack both eggs into this little plate. We will break those eggs just a little bit. I'm gonna add the salt, that it's gonna be enough to salt the pound of beef, and then when we are finished we can microwave a little tiny bit of it and taste it and see if it's according to our liking or not. So I'm gonna add the pepper and salt, which is 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, into the eggs and mix it. I'll add those onto the meat. We will also add some parsley, about 1/4 cup or about 3 tablespoons to 4 tablespoons parsley. I have fresh parsley from my garden and I chopped a little bit and I'm gonna chop those, but I would like to show you that I like to also mix the garlic with the parsley. It enhances the flavor of the garlic a lot more. In this recipe we will need 1 large clove of garlic, so I'm gonna peel it. And I always like to take out the inner part, which mostly causes some bloating. So I slice my garlic in half and I take this green part out. This I discard. We don't need to suffer while eating, we only need to enjoy. So I will chop those few branches of parsley and I will do that together with garlic. And the flavor and the smell of the garlicky parsley is absolutely awesome. Make sure the chopping is very, very, very fine. Chopping the garlic with the parsley makes all the oils and flavors of the garlic to travel a lot farther and be a lot more pleasant, mellowed down by the delicious parsley that is working with it here. I'll add those into the bowl. Into that, we'll also add half a cup of breadcrumbs, fine breadcrumbs, and this is the grated cheddar cheese. I used the Irish type. Now we will mix. When you're mixing, make sure to lightly mix. Don't push too hard on the meat. The more you work the meat, the tougher it's gonna get afterwards. So just very lightly, gently, and lovingly mix this mixture together. Here we are going to roll this meat into meatballs. You can do it by hand, just as I'm doing here, or you can also use ice cream scooper or cookie scooper that you can make sure that all balls are the same size. I have those two, and they are different sizes. This is the small one, and this is the bigger one. And what you do is you scoop and you release. Okay, the meatballs are already rolled. What I'm gonna do now is I will put them in a pan, and I will put them in my toaster oven, which fits this pan. Grill them just a little bit to get some color on them. It doesn't have to cook all the way through because we will be adding them into the pasta sauce that we will be making in a little while, just to get them some color. You can also choose to do them in a pan on the stove with some olive oil, fry them. So here we go. I'm gonna pop them into my little oven. Now it's time to show you how simple and easy this sauce can be. I am using the organic diced tomatoes. Each can is 14 and a half ounces, 15 and a half ounces, excuse me. You can also use the big Italian chopped tomatoes. That will work too. I have here, I heated my pot. I'm gonna add about 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and into that we will put only salt, garlic, brown the garlic to bring out the flavor, salt, a tiny bit of pepper, and finish it up with a few leaves of fresh basil. So let's get started. I have my pan here is heating. I will add the olive oil. I will add the olive oil. 1, 2, 3. As soon as it shimmers, I will be adding my garlic. It's already happening here. And it's 2 cloves of garlic, 2 nicely sized cloves of garlic. Just let them get golden a little bit. Don't burn them. Garlic burns really, really fast, so please don't burn them. Grab a spoon here. And as soon as they get some color, add your tomato. That will cool down the oil. Second. The meatballs are in my toaster oven, toasting. Let this come back to a boil, and the tomatoes will break down a little bit, salt and pepper. And to break the tomatoes further, I sometimes get innovative and use my masher. I don't want the sauce to be extremely smooth, but I do want the tomatoes to break down and give all the juices and have chunky pieces as well. So we'll do that, and let's bring it to a boil and I'll show you what we do next. Okay, here we have the sauce. It's really boiling, and I have browned my meatballs. At this point, I'm gonna add the meatballs and let them simmer together with the sauce until the sauce is thickened to your liking. And at the end, we will finish it with a few fresh leaves of parsley. And I just tip the meatballs, because they have cheese, they got stuck on my. I thought to reduce my amount of cleaning, so I put foil paper on my pan, my toaster pan. I should have had parchment paper, because the cheese, when it melts, it sticks into the foil. If you let it cool on the foil, then it's easy to peel, because then the cheese is not good. But since I am not patient, I tend to want to peel them immediately. So if that's your character too, put them on parchment paper, but make sure that it doesn't get on fire. Make sure the parchment paper is under the meatballs and there's no edges flying around in the toaster. Anyways, so we have the meatballs. Now they're going to be absorbing the flavors of this delicious fresh sauce. And as soon as it gets reduced to my likings, I'm going to add the few fresh basil leaves. I have about 7, 8, 10 of them, a little bunch, just for freshness at the end. And you will boil pasta and serve it with, I like to do spaghetti with this one. So that's what I'm going to do. So we can see here that my sauce is thickened a little bit, and I don't like it too thick. I like it just like this, because I like it to seep all the way through into all the pasta strains that I will be introducing this sauce to. At this point, I'm gonna just take some fresh leaves of basil and just rip them and put them into the sauce, and I will turn off the stove here and mix it together, cover, and wait for the pasta to boil, and then we will taste it and see how delicious it is. I think simple is good. Okay, we're back. The pasta is done. I like mine al dente. Tip for you, I never rinse my pasta, especially if we're eating immediately, because when you rinse it, you get those starches out, and those are the things that absorb the sauce. I don't put olive oil on the pasta either, unless I'm not going to serve it immediately, so I put a tiny bit so it doesn't stick together. But the best way to eat pasta is just get it out al dente, like I like it. My husband likes it really cooked completely. And add the sauce, and that starch that I haven't rinsed off will absorb the sauce and just get it mingled inside. Now at this point, I can also grate some extra cheese, and I choose to use the same cheese I have used in the meatball, but you can do Parmigiano Reggiano or even Romano. I love Romano. It's very strong and awakening, and enjoy a great flavor pasta, although it's simple and easy to make. Enjoy.